Putting in a new heating system can be complicated. Do you need more insulation? Are your radiators suitable? If you're putting in an air source heat pump, you have to also consider where to put the thing. This is what we'll be focusing on today. If you're new here, which you probably are, it would be great for us if you could like the video, leave any questions you have in the comments, and if you like the content, subscribe. Today we'll be focusing on air to water heat pumps, as they will be the most common form of heat pumps moving forward in the UK, particularly in the domestic market. An air to water heat pump essentially extracts heat energy from outside and dumps it into the property via your central heating distribution system, so your radiators or your underfloor heating. For this video, we'll be showing you 3 different things to consider when possibly locating an air source heat pump. The first thing we need to consider is airflow. When the heat pump is used for heating mode, an evaporation process takes place. This process cools down the air in the outdoor unit, which is blown out by a fan. If you've ever stuck your hand outside an air source heat pump, you'll know that there's constantly cold air being blown out of the unit, and this is why. If you put a heat pump boxed in with minimal airflow, the cold air that the heat pump's pushed out might circulate back in. This will cause it to produce worse outputs and eventually break down. To avoid this, manufacturers have placed strict guidelines on where you can site a heat pump and the clearances that you need. These guidelines will vary from manufacturer to manufacturer, with the most common being 600 to 1000 millimeters in front of the heat pump. The additional clearances are 200 mil behind, 1 meter above, and 100 to 500 mil on either side, and that's just for maintenance purposes. Another thing to consider is whether the location of the heat pump is suitable in terms of planning requirements. Now, if you're not in a conservation area or in an area of outstanding natural beauty, your heat pump might be classed as a permitted development, which means planning permission is not required. However, this is a complicated subject and there are several caveats to this. We'll be going into a bit more detail in a separate video. For now, here are some initial caveats. The outdoor unit has to be further away than 1 meter from the property boundary. The volume of the heat pump can't exceed 0.6 cubic meters. The heat pump can't be used for cooling mode. And the heat pump needs to pass an MCS 020 noise neighbour impact assessment. If you're looking for the heat pump to provide cooling through your central heating distribution system, or the heat pump that you're looking at has a larger volume than 0.6 cubic meters, then planning permission is unescapable. However, if not, the specific location of your heat pump will determine whether planning permission is a necessity or not. In this case, you'll want to keep your heat pump further than 1 meter away from the property boundary and to stay clear of any neighbours' habitable windows. So these are living rooms and bedrooms. Bathrooms, kitchens and hallways, they're exempt. The final thing you need to consider are refrigerant clearances. R290, otherwise known as propane, is one of the refrigerants used in the outdoor units for heat pump systems. This is most commonly used by Valent and their Aerotherm Plus range. For safety measures, the R290 and the outdoor unit need to stay clear of any windows, doors, openings and electrical equipment. The specific clearances are 500 millimeters from the top of the heat pump and 1000 millimeters from the bottom of the heat pump. Hopefully, this should have provided you with a rough guide on how to site a heat pump. This information should be used as an initial idea and should always be checked by an MCS accredited installer. For more information or to book a call with one of our engineers, I'll leave a link to our website below. For now, I hope you enjoyed the video and see you soon.